Alright guys, it's finally here. One of the most requested videos. I've been asked questions about this before. I shared it on Instagram if I should do this video, and I had the most likes, so we're finally here. How do I organize my schedule with all my teacher seller tasks? Like, how do I organize it daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, all that jazz? I finally have this schedule written out. I've tested it for about a month or two, and it's kind of actually going really well, and so I'm really liking it. And so I figured I would just walk you through how I created my teacher seller business schedule around being a mom, a circus instructor, and an elementary music teacher. So if you're ready for that video, keep on watching. For those who don't know me, my name's Brittany Barton. I'm an elementary music teacher and middle school musical theater teacher in Central Florida. This channel is all about helping teacherpreneurs master their time and energy while scaling their business so that they can ditch the hustle and grind, break up with busy, and stop sacrificing their mental health. And so on Sundays, we do productivity-based type videos, and on Wednesdays, we do teacher seller type videos, with all of the goal being to help you be able to work less and make more. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely make sure to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends so that they are able to get better at managing their time as well, especially if you're a teacher seller. Now, as I mentioned in today's video, we're going to be talking all about my monthly business schedule and what that looks like, how I decided what tasks need to be done when, what tasks don't really need to be done at all in my business, and how to organize it in a way so that I'm not working 24/7, because that is always the goal. We don't want to be working 24/7. So let's not waste any time. And a lot of this is going to be shown on my Trello board, because if we don't know me by now, I'm kind of obsessed with Trello, but we'll take it from there. I want to throw out two disclaimers before I show you my board. One is I did most of this on paper. I've kept my schedule on paper for the most part. Trello just works better for me, so I can always view it. However, I know that once you see this, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that is just too much work for me. You can totally just write your schedule out on paper. You can totally do that. This is what works for me. It's not going to work for everyone. I will say that the board you're about to see is provided to my students inside of the batching breakdown, although theirs doesn't look quite as crazy as mine because I gave them a blank sample to work with. So if that's something that you're interested in, then definitely check out the batching breakdown when it opens again in January. But let's just show you what it looks like. So this is my monthly business schedule at a glance. Nothing too crazy. I have templates, which we'll get to in a minute, daily tasks, weekly tasks, monthly tasks, and other. All right, let's just dive in, shall we? So over here, I have an actual giant list of all of the tasks that I could think of that are teacher seller tasks. These are all different ones. And yes, I have divided them into three things that I will explain in just a minute. We have deep work, connection, and creativity. We have peak times. So this is probably one of the biggest things that I actually teach inside of the batching breakdown. In fact, I know it is. It's basically what the whole entire course is based around, is recognizing your sleep patterns and your chronotypes so that you can figure out what time of day is the best time of day to do different tasks in your business. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're doing a task if you're doing it at the wrong time. Like if you're trying to file your taxes when your brain is really foggy, then that's obviously not the time to do it. But there is a time where your brain is super alert and ready to go and can focus on things like that, and that's the time to do it. And so I help you figure out in this course how to actually figure out what time of day is best for you for all of these things, and like what to do if you can't follow your schedule exactly to a T and all of that. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Maybe I'll do a future video on that. But I have my peak times, and I've written down what those peak times are for me, and then I have, according to the task, what category they go into. And so this is deep work tasks. And the reason they're checked off is because I added them into my schedule somewhere. Some of these I was like, I don't really need to add those right now. But I have deep work tasks. Those are ones that you would really want to focus on and have deep focus periods for. Like you could do Pomodoro sessions around those. Connection is anything that requires you to like communicate with others or express your thoughts like outwardly. And then creativity is anything, you know, like when you're creating content or like you're trying to be creative and create products and like all of that sort of stuff. And so there's all different sorts of like tasks that you can include on there. And so I have all these here because then I was able to add them into the daily, weekly, and monthly sections pretty easily. And then I also have just a daily task template and things. Like if it's a daily task, I can just copy this because it already has the days of the month set out for me. I have one for monthly, weekly, quarterly, and yearly. So that is just my template section. Super easy peasy, all that good stuff. Now I will say, I'm not actually getting to follow most of my peak times right now because working at school, like it's just kind of impossible. So even though it says that this is the peak I should be doing it in, that's not the peak time I'm doing it in. But it's okay because during the weekends I get to work in my peak times. During the summer I get to work in my peak times. I've basically done it enough now to know how to focus even when it's not actually my ideal time for my brain. All right, but let's just start with daily tasks. So these are things that I do every single day. And I will tell you the times that I work. So I work in the mornings. I get to work at 7 and I don't have to be on actually no, yeah, I don't have to be on the clock until 8. And so I get a full hour to work on my business. The reason I do that instead of just staying at home is because one, traffic gets awful because I have to go through like 3 school zones to get to my work. So I don't want to leave later. And two, it's just really quiet and peaceful up here and I can get a lot done compared to at my house where my dogs and my cats are and like I get distracted and all that other stuff. I don't seem to get distracted when I'm at my work or at my workspace here. So I work in the mornings from 7 to 8 and then I also work after school after Lincoln has gone to bed from about 9 to 11. I know that's kind of late, but in order for me to get anything done, I have to stay up a little bit late. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, it just depends. Saturdays is pretty much almost never. I try to take that day off because I have a lot of circus things on those days. And then Sunday is like grocery prepping and all this other stuff and lesson planning. But I do manage to get some business done on the side there as well. So these are daily things. Work on TPT products. That is the first thing. I always do that for at least an hour a day, because I know that is the thing that pushes my business forward the most, because I can't make money if I don't have products. And so that is the very first thing that I do. I will spend 1 hour at some point working on TPT products. It's normally not the morning session because I have like specific stuff that I have planned for that, which we'll talk about in a minute. I also create my Instagram posts in the moment. I used to batch my Instagram posts, and then I learned that's just not for me. It's just not. So it's really easy for me to write an Instagram post and upload it the same day. It's not hard. I could make a reel, do it the same day. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, I will say that I do reels like the day before or so that like I can't do it at school, obviously, but that's just what I mean by that. Respond to comments. Some people will do this once a week. I just do it every day because I don't have a lot of comments. Like, I'm not that popular of a person. And so, like, if a person comments on my stuff one day, if I don't do it that day, I'm going to forget. And then I'm going to be that person that never responds to people. And I don't want to be that person. And so in here I need to respond on both my YouTubes, both my Instagrams, my email if anybody emails me back, and then any TPT comments or reviews or questions I got. So that's what I do. And then I also engage on social media. That means going on stories and also just checking my DMs. It's not like I get so many DMs a day that I couldn't just respond to them in that moment. And so I will do that daily. And then I also check my emails. Now I have 6 emails and I don't really like that. Most of them are at inbox 0, except this one is not. And this one actually is not. But I have all my emails that I check just to make sure that I am on track with what I'm supposed to do every day. Those are the things that I do daily in my business, and I will always find time to do them. I mean, the respond to comments or like engage on social media ones, that might happen during my lunch time or like, really simple times. Check my email. I typically check it first thing when I get here and then first thing at the end of the day or last thing at the end of the day, those sorts of things. Okay, let's get to weeks. So I separated it into week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 because there are things that I'm not doing every single week. And then also like I just wanted to have it look like this so I could easily see like, oh, it's week 1 this month and I don't have to like change it out every single month. So the first thing is the main thing that I do in the mornings in these blocks is film my YouTube videos because I have learned that I just do not have time to film YouTube videos on the weekend with my son, and it's a lot quieter up here and I can do it before contract hours. So most of these days are spent devoted to YouTube videos, which as I'm filming this right now, I am filming today's Wednesday Timely Teacherpreneur video. Okay, so it's Monday as I filmed this. Beautiful, wonderful, magical. Okay. So here's what I do. On Mondays, I film my Timely Teacherpreneur YouTube video, my Wednesday one. And so this is always every Monday of every week. It's always my Timely Teacherpreneur YouTube video. I also will edit it in the same session. I don't always recommend filming and editing in the same session. However, it works out that it takes about an hour to do that. And then I'm done with the morning session and I don't have to worry about my YouTube videos anymore. And so I always do that. I film and edit. Tuesdays, it's film my Whimsically musical video, like my elementary lesson plans for the week video, and edit it. Wednesday, it's film my Sunday Timely Teacherpreneur YouTube video and edit it. Thursday, it's film my Monday Whimsically musical YouTube video and edit it, and then that's where it starts to get a little bit different. Okay, so on Thursdays, I have decided every single week that is when I am going to create graphics for TPT products. So as I said, in my daily tasks, I'm working on TPT products every day. That means that eventually I'm going to have finished a couple of them at the same time. And instead of doing it where you work on one product and you do it all the way through. I like to batch create my products. And so that's just something that works really well for me. So I will batch create graphics. So every Thursday I leave time for that if I have any products that are done that are ready for that stage. That includes thumbnails, cover images, video preview, or animated GIF, depending on if it's a Google Slide product or not, and then a regular preview. So I always leave space for that every single Thursday evening when I'm working on my business. That is something that I will consider to do. And then Friday, I like to do that as a catch-up day. I will write emails on Friday mornings. That is when I write my emails for my Whimsically Musical email and my Timely Teacherpreneur emails. And I finally am actually adding that in so that I actually, get to do it, because I've not been great at doing emails in the past. And so now I'm making time for me to be able to write emails. I also pay my bills and budget, because that's just when we get our money. Saturdays, I've just added this. I'm going to start interacting with Facebook groups, and I even wrote some of the Facebook groups that I'm going to be interacting in, because I think it's important to get to know your ideal client and actually get to talk to them and help them with their problems. And I want people to recognize me as a productivity guru for teacher sellers. And so I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't reach out to people. I actually really like some of the Facebook groups that I'm in, and I wish I communicated with them more. And then clean and organize my desktop. I'm going to do that once a week, just let us clean and organize, and it's not a clutter, because I hate going to a messy desktop. Quite honestly, I really, really hate it. And so that's what I'll do on Saturdays. And then Sunday is my weekly reset and planning. I will brainstorm for the week. So I will write my to-do list for the week. I will write any TPT product ideas I've thought of. I will write any content ideas I've thought of, and I can write them and list them out right here and then move them to the respective to-do lists when I need to. And so I will brainstorm for the week. Then I do a weekly planning session, and that's where I'll sit down with my planner and actually figure out what my grader 3 is for every single day, what I'm going to be doing throughout the week, what I need to get done, and review my content and all of that good stuff. So I'll do that on Sundays. And then Sundays is also the day that I've decided to devote to Pinterest, because I know that Pinterest works and that it's powerful. I've actually seen a couple of pins of mine doing really well, and so I need to devote time to it. And I didn't know when else to put it, and I figured Sunday would be good, because Sunday is the time that I have the most time. So I'm going to devote a little bit of time to Pinterest every day, creating pins and scheduling pins, and that is going to hopefully work out. So then let's see if anything changed from week 2. I don't think it did. This is all the same, filming. Oh, yes. So on the 2nd and 4th week of every month, instead of, I'm going to add on Wednesday nights updating old product images, because in my shop, I have a new way of my products to look, and I really, really love it. But a lot of my products before did not look like that. I have 156 products, and maybe only 40 look the way I want them to look. So I'm going to devote an hour every other week to update old product images, thumbnails, cover images, and all of that stuff. And I think that'll be really helpful. But I'm only doing that every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights, because Wednesday nights I'm not very busy. So that is what I'm planning on doing. And then Thursday, like I said, create graphics, film, which I'm going to move all this because I actually like this to match everything else. So I'm going to move the order of that. And then Friday, write emails, pay bills. Saturday, okay, that's all the same. All right, let's go to week 3, see if anything changes. I don't think it does. Create graphics. Like I said, I'm going to change the order of this again because I'm just like that. And nothing changed. And then last week, oh, my bad. Last week, move the order because by now I can't not. And yeah, that's all the same. All right. Let's move to monthly. So I have beginning of the month tasks and end of the month tasks. And of course, I don't have them actually scheduled into my schedule right now. When I get to about week 3 and week 4, that's when I'll start to figure out when I can schedule these into my day. But I'll at least tell you what they are. So at the beginning of the month, I will update my Instagram highlights. I will add stuff to my highlights. I will delete stuff that doesn't need to be there. I'll create highlight covers. I think highlights are actually really important because people can kind of get a glimpse of who you are, and if they're interested in following you, and if you provide a lot of value in it, you can actually make sales from it, because I have before. So update your highlights. I also have at the beginning of the month, I will apply for TPT featured author and newsletter, because I think that's also important. So I remind myself to do it at the beginning of every month. I outline my YouTube video scripts. So I do batch content. I batch my blogs quarterly, which we'll talk about in a minute when we get to the quarterly section. I tried that for YouTube videos and it just didn't work. And also I kind of want my YouTube videos to be timely. So I will outline the scripts for the entire month that I'm in, and I have a Trello workboard for all of that and all of this other stuff. But I will outline all of my scripts for the month at the beginning of the month. And then I also will search for keywords for long form content and TPT products. So I do write my blog posts ahead of time, but I also just make sure that my keywords are still relevant. And I do that for YouTube and make sure that it's all ready to go. So those are things I do at the beginning of the month. At the end of the month, I will send my receipts to my bookkeeper. I do have a bookkeeper. That is the only person that I have on my team currently, and it is a great decision because I definitely needed it. And so I will send all of my receipts to my bookkeeper to make sure that we are on track so my books are doing good. I will update my content Airtable base. I have this Airtable base that has all of my content, like my blog posts and YouTube video links and stuff, just so that if I ever need to know what I've made, I can look at it really easily and see what content I've covered, what I haven't, and all that. I will update it at the end of every month. I will organize my Google Drives at the end of every month. I have a bunch of Google Drives, but the two that I'm focusing on is my Whimsically, Musical, and Timely Teacherpreneur ones. I will organize those and put all of the miscellaneous files where they need to go and stuff so that it's actually clean, because it bothers me when my Google Drive is not clean. I actually should also add, in fact, I'm going to add Canva to that, because Canva is like a hot dumpster fire. So organize Canva folders. Yep, we're going to add that. Okay. And then check my Google Analytics and social media stats. So I will check my Google Analytics. I'll check my Instagram stats, my YouTube stats, my email list stats, my TPT data stats, and just see it all at a glance or a bird's eye view at the end of the month. And so these are things I will add into my schedule when I can, when I see time for it. And then let's talk about quarterly and yearly. So quarterly is I'm going to back up my computer, back it up to my hard drive just to make sure that everything is safe, because I don't want to lose any of that, dear God. I'm going to update and create lead magnets. So every quarter I look at the lead magnets I have and see if I like them, if they're actually doing anything for me. If they're not, I get rid of them. And then I can work on creating a new lead magnet. And then I scrub my email list. So I learned that through a beta email marketing course that I took with my friend Carson, who she's fabulous. And so it's important to scrub your email list and make sure that the people that you want to have on your list are actually there. And so I will do that. And then also batching blogs. Like I mentioned, I batch blogs quarterly, but I don't batch YouTube and Instagram because it just doesn't work for me. So I will have a batch week, typically at the end of every quarter. And that week is when none of this stuff is getting done. I don't even care about any of that stuff for whatever week it is. I'm just batching blog posts, and that's totally fine. So that's what I do for that. And I do blogs bi-weekly. Okay, and then yearly, renew yearly subscriptions for software. So things like Zoom, Ubersuggest, Teachable, Flowdesk. I'll just do that at the beginning of the year all at once. And then complete my taxes, because complete my taxes is a yearly thing. And so then that is all of this stuff that's going to be in my monthly business schedule. And so then, like I said, I will work in the mornings from about 7 to 8, Monday through Friday, and then in the evenings from about 9 to 11, and then Saturdays, I will work in the mornings, typically from 7 to 9ish before my son gets up. That's what I try to do. Yeah, he sleeps in late. And then I'll also work at lunchtime if I'm not at trapeze and things, well, normally I am. I'll just work later in the evening on Saturdays. And then Sundays is just when I can. So honestly, I'm not even working on my business all of the time, but having this schedule allows me to at least get the stuff done that I need to, which right now, in this season, it's really focusing on product creation. But once I don't need to create as many products, then I can work on actually focusing on my business and all of the other stuff, and doing more productivity 1-on-1 sessions, which I'm not offering right now. I'm just not really focused on that right now. And so that's how I create this schedule. I hope that was really helpful for you. If you have any questions about that, or you need help figuring out how to create your own schedule and things, I think I might actually start doing VIP days on this really soon, which I'm really excited about. But if you have any questions about how to create your own teacher seller business schedule, please link it down below. Like I said, that Trello board specifically is offered to my batching breakdown students. But if you're I really need to figure out how to organize this myself, just write it down on paper. What are things that you need to do daily? What are things you need to do weekly? What are things you need to do monthly, quarterly? And slow it down and break it down until you can figure it out, and then give it assigned dates. So the biggest tips for you would be to write those down and write down all of the tasks that you need to do in your business at any given time. and then divide them by what needs to be done daily, what needs to be done weekly, what needs to be done monthly, what needs to be done quarterly or yearly, and then assign them specific times. If you want to batch theme your days, you can do that. I have an entire video already that talks about batching your days, like themed days, so I will link that down below. If you need to add batching, I have videos on batching. Whatever you need to do, just make sure that you are sticking to it and know that it's going to change over time. It's never going to be exactly how you want it to be, but that's the beauty of it. You can change it to make it work to what you need. With that, I'm going to get ready for school because we have to, today is one of our character dress up days. I can't remember what day it is right now, so make sure that I'm ready for that. I have my outfit elsewhere. I just wear this because I love it so much. It says Sing the Booze and it's fabulous. All right, but I will see you guys in the next video on Sunday. Bye, guys.